Welcome to the Scent of Beauty. My name is Susan, and I would like to discuss Tare, T-E-I-R, and T-A-R-E, and T-E-A-R. So those are different Tare. And the reason why I want to discuss Tare is because I was thinking about triangulation, drama, triangle. Stephen Cartman created that model in 1968, the drama triangle, and how it plays out through conflict. And not only just with conflict, but excessive conflict. But with the scent of beauty, we know that we talk about the psychological impact that relationships have in our psyche. And so, in regards to the drama triangle, I wanted to take it from a standpoint of how often do we see, or I should say, when I started to envision Tare, I thought about a three-layer cake. The different tier one, tier two, and a third tier cake. And I also thought about cheerleading. And in cheerleading, I thought about the different stunts and how there are just some cheerleaders that stand at the base. And so, just like with the three-tier cake, I want to talk about the base, the first tier, because the first tier is going to help us to perceive the respiration and heart rate of our psyche. The first tier was constructed and is constructed to hold the weight of what comes after. And so, with the scent of beauty, my first question, and the question is rhetorical in some instances, or we could sit and think about it. But the first tear, how much have our psyche have we allowed to stand in a position to be in a relationship, especially the conflict, excessive conflict relationship, and our psyche is shouldering the different elements and the different players in the relationship and their contributions. There is actually three parts to our brain: the cerebrium, the cerebellum, and the brain stem. And it's so funny because when I was thinking about this video, I thought about the forebrain, the middle brain, and the hind brain, and that is the brain stem, which is called the reptilian brain, right at the base. And what the brain stem does, the hind brain, it actually allow the it allows the cerebrium and the cerebellum to be connected to the spine. So it's holding these two parts of the brain. It connects it, and it connects it again to the spine. And our spine is the posture. And so, how often have we placed our psyche in a position to worry, to cook up recipes for family balance, for friends' happiness, care packages that we create 364 days of the week. We grant individuals their heart's desire. We've even coined a phrase, oh, seeing you happy makes me happy. And at the base, the first tear, placing our psyche on the back burner, being the first to always come in and shoulder the grunt of the disputes that occurs with individual. It's not noble to our psyche. That's why I mentioned the respiration and the heart rate of our psyche. It takes its toll. I told you about the tear, the Tare. It's a weight. And I'm not going to go into the entirety of what the word mean, but as far as it relates to this video, it's basically the weight of the container. And if we step aside the first tier in the tier, the layer in a relationship, if we are always at the base and a tier is the container, what is the weight within ourselves? When we take a look at ourselves, when we remove all of these individuals' problems, pain, even their desire and their joy, when that's all that we house within our psyche, when that is removed and we have to weigh our own psyche, majority of the time, just like ingredients for to create a cake, for instance, what we're left with when we're weighed into ourselves, we have the basic. We have water, flour, and eggs. And so often our psyche is left in a bland state, basic, boring, while on the other levels, others are flourishing, needs are being met. The reason why I mentioned the cheerleading is because when we see the pyramid, we see that there are those that stand and they cannot move. They become almost like an object because others are moving around and they're depending on them to remain still. And how often have we been in relationship where it require us, our psyche, to remain still and do not make a sound? You know, that container that have the basic, where how often have we've heard someone say these words, or we said it ourselves, when someone is not around, I don't know what to do with myself. That's the basic that I'm talking about. That's the first tier. That is the container, the tier that has no substance of its own. And if you've noticed, because I have, that when, a cheerleading squad wins the trophy, you don't really see the ones at the base really getting the accolades, the chairs. It's usually the one that does the most performance that grabs the trophy.